Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls 3. At the end of the last episode, I promised that I would talk about a very important statue. And now, I'm gonna do exactly that, so check this out. Doesn't that look familiar? Kingseeker, Frampt, Koth, the primordial serpents. Except here, one is depicted with wings. Dare I say, angelic wings, and angels have been getting a bit of play lately. There are those winged knights. We just found an enormous portrait of one in the beginning of Lothric Castle alongside its armor, which talked about how the knights swore themselves to the angels, but Lothric called them heretics. And they talk about how there was a heavenly daughter, a term usually reserved for references to daughters of Guinevere, who was visited by one of these angels, and she told people about that visit. And Lothric immediately imprisoned her for heresy, locked her away above the Grand Archives. Goddard Twin Swords and the Grand Archives key. Key to the main entrance in the Grand Archives of Lothric. With the fire fading and the spreading pus of man tainting the castle, the Grand Archives closed its door for good. Today, only a few of its keys remain. This one likely belonged to Goddard, one of the king's black hands who fled the castle. Rest in peace, Goddard. Now we can move on into the Grand Archives. And, before we even take one foot, step through that door, just get ready. Yeah, one of the Crystal Sages appears. This recurring theme in Dark Souls of an enemy that was an early game boss becoming a late game standard enemy. That key that let us get in here, the Grand Archives key on Goddard's corpse, you can get up to the door of the Grand Archives anytime after beating Dancer. But the key on Goddard's corpse does not spawn until 3 Lords of Cinder are dead. That is what halted my plans. That's why I did Dancer and all that early in the first place, but I found that out too late. Because there's an item at the end of the Grand Archives, a weapon, that I was building towards at the beginning of this Let's Play. But my plans got delayed a little bit. Well, a lot of it, because we're almost at the end of the game now. There's still a lot to do. This is a very confusing area, so forgive me if I miss some stuff. There are a lot of moving parts and corners in this one, some of which aren't entirely obvious. You would think these wax-headed scholars wouldn't take as much damage from fire, but no, it's perfectly effective against them. So not only are there a lot of corners, a lot of moving parts, there are a lot of levers in here, it's a very vertical level, and it's also tremendously dark most of the time. So you get a big cocktail of it being really, really easy to miss stuff. I will never ever get tired of the R2 on the Dark Sword. Never. It's not gonna happen. It's so suave. The most smooth animation. Over here we pick up a crystal chime. Let me get back on track with the angel talk though. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is another extremely overt reference to one of the primordial serpents in the game. We're going to come over here and dunk our heads in wax. Which doesn't look too great because the wax doesn't move, it's just like our heads are clipping through. But it's fine. Now our heads are coated in wax like the scholars around here. What that does will become apparent momentarily. So note that those hands are coming out of the books. That seems to be the only source for those blue, grasping, spectral hands throughout the archives. Without the wax covering your head, they will inflict damage per second to you, but they'll also build up curse on you. And again, they're coming directly out of the books. Pulling that lever, it's so dark in here that it doesn't become immediately obvious what it's doing. But over on the left side of the room, it's moving a bookcase out of the way so we can get power within and the witch's locks. A whip fashioned from the black hair of a daughter of the Witch of Izalith, creator of the Flame of Chaos. The long shining locks woven together to create this whip are imbued with the essence of fire, which can be channeled through the use of its skill. There's an eclectic mix of different artifacts of different schools of magic in the archives, because the scholars here were studying all sorts of different sources of magic, including, as the Crystal Sage back there indicated, Logan's and Seath's crystal magic. So with this parable about this angel coming down and teaching its ways to Gertrude, the Heavenly Daughter, and her spreading the word. And with the possibility of the angels being the serpents, it's kind of making me wondering, is there kind of like a Satan tempting Eve parallel going on here? Primordial serpent visiting this pious young girl, disguised as an angel when it's... Well, I mean, the serpent metaphor kind of writes itself. I think the flaw in the theory is that if the serpents are angels, and the worship of angels is heresy, then why are there statues dedicated to the serpents? And I don't have a good answer for that. It's a hole in the theory. I need some more time to think that through. It's worth bringing up, though, as a counterpoint. Ooh. Got caught in the crossfire, and I didn't finish the fucking sage off. I didn't have enough stamina to get an extra hit in before it teleported the first time when we walked into the Grand Archives. That one hit that I didn't get in because I didn't manage my stamina properly, that one hit is why it's still alive. Should be dead. But no, now it's gonna wreak a lot of havoc on my plans now. Because of this, there's a drop down I have to make here, which, oh wow, get up slower, why don't you? Then there's this drop down. Oh, I almost died. And it's sitting in the middle of a bridge that we can't really get to yet. Right. We're gonna drop back down to the main room. The entrance foyer. And take the stairs back to where the first waxen pool was. Because we actually opened something up with that lever that we pulled a moment ago. We slid this bookcase somewhere, revealing a chest that has yet another Titanite slab. They learned a lesson from Bloodborne. A lesson which really... They should have learned with the DLC and put more fucking blood rocks in that DLC, whatever. I guess they intended for you to farm blood rocks in chalice dungeons. Son of a bitch. Gonna re-up our waxen head. Yeah, they're pretty generous with handing out the Titanite slabs. I think there are... It's either 6 or 8, I can't remember which. There's a lot per new game. And I'm not exactly sure if there are any enemies who have a rare drop chance for slabs, but, I mean, you get like 6 to 8 slabs per playthrough, so it's really not bad at all. We're already up to 2. By the end of the archives, I think we'll be up to 4? Kind of wondering what the deal with the wax is. Like, the gameplay property, I get that it stops you from getting cursed by the books, but, like, is it that... Are the scholars here occluding their eyes with wax so they cannot see the cursed words of the books? Is that actually what's going on here? And now we get books scattered all over the floor, so now you not only have to watch being next to the bookshelves, you have to watch the floor as well for the cursed hands. I remember, like, 5 or 6 episodes into the LP, somebody was waiting for me to encounter this specific Outrider Knight. Because each one so far has dropped a different item. The Irithyll Straight Sword and the Irithyll Rapier so far. This one, this third and final one, drops the Outrider Armor set, which somebody was super keen on seeing me put on for Fashion Souls. But I just picked up Morn's armor, so I'm not changing out of that yet. Maybe next episode, we will check it out, though. Armor of an Irithyll Outrider Knight enveloped in dimly cold air. The knights were given the eyes of the Pontiff, but the eyes transformed them into savages, raving warriors who only knew how to serve as mindless guards. By the way, if you're wondering how I got the Morn's item, stuff, the handmaiden in Firelink Shrine, he's still alive and snoring. He's got bad sleep apnea. Are you going to be able to reach me from here? It doesn't seem like it. The handmaiden in Firelink Shrine starts selling his gear after you progress Irina's quest enough. Sorcery imparted by... I hear it. Fuck you. Sorcery imparted by the first scholars when Lotharic and the Grand Archives were but young. First of the scholars doubted the linking of the fire and was alleged to be a private mentor to the royal prince. Scholar. Scholar as a proper noun. I'm always, like, really observant of when they use seemingly generic-sounding terms as proper nouns, because it's usually pretty important. Like, when they use Oracle, I think Oracle is used as a proper noun in the Eleonora Axe description. Even if it's not, like, there's still a strong enough connection to Elsana anyway, but whatever. You're gonna take, like, 1 or 2 hits. So, some people think that scholar is Aldia. Sorcery Crystal Skull of the Grand Archives of Lotharic. These sorceries are the work of the Pale Drake Seat the Scaleless, whom Logan is said to have met, a branch of sorcery that's been carried on by the Crystal Sages. Okay. Pretty obvious, self-evident connection. Some people think that the scholar is Aldia, which is sensible. If you drop down here, one of the bookcases we moved out of the way dropped a crystal lizard that was on top of one. So yeah, it's a reasonable enough connection. Scholar of the First Sin, who didn't buy into perpetuating the cycle by linking the flame. Sullivan was also a scholar, though. A scholar of the Grand Archives at that, and he turned to the deep as an alternative to linking the fire or simply letting it go out and bringing about an Age of the Dark. And the last one, the last possibility, and the one I find most far-fetched, is that the scholar could be Koth. There are, after all, primordial serpent statues all around, like on the Dragon Slayer armor bridge and inside the archives. We'll be back for that night later on. We're going to drop down to that balcony, so there's no sense fighting him yet. So maybe Koth got into the prince's ear? Like, Koth's primary motivation seems to be wanting the fire to go out, so maybe he got into the prince's ear and whispered some things about maybe it's a bad idea to link the fire. Also, from this angle, I'm just now realizing that Morn's helmet looks a lot like a dragon head. So this is a really important shortcut to open up, because it leads back out into the main foyer. And the bonfire, remember, is right outside the door. The Grand Archives layout, I think, is impeccable. I think it's... This, along with the larger zone of Lothric Castle, I think it's probably some of the best level design in the whole... in the whole game. Do I have a... Oh, that looked kind of weird. I really, really need a facepalm emote for this Let's Play. There's been a lot of moments like that I can use it. Let's do this right. Okay. I don't like those style of elevators. Now, there's a problem. There is something around here that I know I'm missing. I don't want to go too far forward yet. I'm not sure if it's over here. I don't think so, though. Because I know there's a source for wax before I go too much further forward. I might as well get you before you disappear, even though they don't build curse up that quick. But you can see the effect of the grasping spectral hands when you don't have your head coated in wax. There's it's a lever that I'm missing that moves another bookshelf out of the way. I cannot for the life of me remember where it is. I know it's in the area. I really have to find it so I can become Candlejack again. But more important, I wander around like an idiot for a while and finally found it. It's right here near the bridge where we last saw the Crystal Sage. So I was in the right area, I just didn't check that corner. So 2 bookcases move out of the way. We get a Scholarly Ring, which is the int version of the Priestess and the Knight's Ring that we already picked up. We get access to a wax pool, and look where this leads back to. So now we've linked up more of the level. And because we've opened up some other shortcuts, it's now really easy to get around here. Before we go any further into the Grand Archives, though, since we've now opened up a bunch of shortcuts that make it easy to get around the level, we can actually leave the archives without having to worry about doing too much work getting back. And there are a couple of things I want to do before we get too deep in.
Back up. Unfathomable. This is a crystal sorcery. Created by the Pale Dragon, thought only to exist in legend. I am ever grateful to you. This is truly sublime. I am afraid this is a debt I cannot repay. Only, I will be sure to unravel it for you. Just a moment.
So now we're gonna go to work buying every last sorcery he has available. We're gonna clean out his stock. And I should have just about enough. I hope. Yeah, oh my god, I have almost the perfect amount of souls to finish cleaning up with him. Good.
In Vinheim, I was an assassin. A sorcerer only in name. A killer for hire. What a fool I was, thinking one day I would learn real sorceries. When I became undead, I was exiled from the school. But here I am, now, exploring the depths of sorcery. All thanks to you, I might add. You are no ordinary man. All these sorceries, and you've mastered every one. If this were the Dragon School, you'd be, well, overtly despised and banished from the place. Well, I suppose it's time I packed my bags. I would hate to see our agreement end sourly. Better left, tucked away, as a pleasant memory. You are no ordinary man. All these sorts... If this... Well, I would hate... Better left.
Alright, so Orbeck's gonna go off on his own. We also picked up that Lothric Braille Divine Tome last time, so we're gonna go give that to Irina. And that's the last tome that she needs.
You've brought me a Braille Divine. Now I can tell tales of the greater miracles can be quite the... What fun. I was not meant to be a firekeeper, but I am honored to serve you beside the bonfire. The gods are ever merciful. My gratitude lies with them and with you. I am yours now. Your wish is my command. I was not meant to...
So it seems like she's going to be an alternate firekeeper now. What a fascinating end to her quest line. Ring bestowed upon Kareem Saint, and Kareem the Saints give voice to the ancient tales. They memorize countless cumbersome sacred books and read them in sonorous tones, a function for which they are widely renowned.
Have a pleasant...
Good job, Irina. So she overcame her initial obstacle, and she's going to become a firekeeper. So we're reaching the final stages of a lot of different
Yes.
quest lines now.
There is one thing that you should know. There is a darkness.
Oh, we did hear this before. Okay. I'm gonna check in with Yuria just while we're here, just in case she has anything new to say. I'm pretty sure she doesn't.
Speak freely then. Oh Lord, and I prithee, when the
Yeah,
age of
I was hoping she would talk more about
Be
Orbeck.
safe.
I'm pretty sure she's lying through her teeth about Orbeck claiming to be the actual Lord of Hollows. Oh, you know what? There's one more that I should do while I'm here before I end the episode. I'm also gonna put the cinders on the thrones because I've neglected to do that, and I'm right here anyway. So we place Yorm's cinder upon Yorm's throne. And on the way to Aldrich's throne, we're gonna run into Leonard again.
Aha, you found a proper red eye. Brilliant. I knew you were no ordinary man. Now invade and pillage all you like. And if you grow weary of your duty, you too may become a finger. Come on, give yourself to Rosaria of the Cathedral of the Deep. Now invade and pillage all you like, and come on.
So he invites us to visit Rosaria and become one of her fingers. There is one other thing I should do before I leave to do that. And it's, I should go to Ludlith, and I should see what weapons I can get with the Dragon Slayer armor's soul.
Aha, thou returns.
I can get, obviously, his great axe and his shield. Melted iron great axe that once formed part of the Dragon Slayer armor, thickly imbued with the power of lightning, use skill to draw upon the techniques used to slay the arch dragons. Melted iron shield that once formed part of the Dragon Slayer armor. The shield offers high protection to lightning, which the Dragon Slayer commanded as his own, and its skill has faint echoes of the Dragon Slayer's own fighting style. So yeah, really not Ornstein. I think I just had a slip of the tongue or a brain fart when I was calling him Ornstein last time. But more like just an homage to Ornstein. Since now we've had 3 Dark Souls games and 3 different Dragon Slayer fights. One with Smo, one in the Tower of Flame in DS2, and now kind of a spiritual successor to that with the Dragon Slayer armor. Oh, hello, you're new? We'll get to meet him more in a second. Or her, can't remember which. Rosaria looking gross as ever. We're gonna offer her a pale tongue finally. And that causes a couple of changes that actually progresses a quest line, and it happens to be... Oh, look at that, we can't rest at the bonfire, like an enemy is near. That progresses Leonard's quest.
Ah, so you've chosen to serve Rosaria after all. She will be pleased with me for finding her another finger. But be warned, my friend. Rosaria's fingers need only fetch tongues for their mistress. Otherwise, we are free, unchained. Like Yellowfinger, you can choose to believe that all fingers share camaraderie. But do not force your romance upon the rest of us. Rosaria's fingers need other...
Pretty sure I still can't rest at this bonfire. I can still homeward bone back to it, though, to reset the world state, so that's all I needed to do. That's cool. Oh look, Farum boots. So, let's see who this really was. Hazel! Remember Yellowfinger Hazel? Who invaded us in the Crucifixion Woods? That's what Hazel turned into. Or was turned into. Also, we find Rosaria dead, and there's a black eye orb on her corpse. No soul, just a black eye orb. Arcane orb left on Rosaria's corpse. Have faith her soul can be retrieved by invading the world of her killer. and returning victorious. The black eye is proof of vengeance, but often appears serene as it casts its gaze towards Irithyll. The last line is hinting where it wants you to go to find her killer. So the last person who was in her bedchamber was the player character and Leonard. So, I mean, you can pretty easily put 2 and 2 together and figure that Leonard killed her. Why? Well, that's actually kind of interesting. Each game has the murderous NPC character who you recruit. They're really obviously sinister, and then they kill NPCs around your hub town. Leonard is a twist on that. He takes Rosaria's soul and kills her if you progress his quest too much, but nobody back at Firelink Shrine, even though he's obviously the candidate to be like the Yurt or the Lautrec. And we come into Guinevere's room, and the orb starts resonating in here. There's a questline very similar to this in Dark Souls 1. I believe it is Lautrec's questline, actually, that this mimics.
See you here. Resist her any longer in all her festering glory. And now you want to ravage her soul as well. I sowed the seeds, I'll prune the mess. I, Leonard, swear so on my vows to the goddess. No one will despoil her soul. Certainly no beast wrapped in human skin.
He's even got a similar fighting style to, like Yurt and Lautrec and all them, with a Shodel. But he's nowhere near as hard as any of them. That is a cool-ass weapon art, though. Also tells you something about his allegiance. It's a moon-based weapon art. Kind of worried that he might carry me, but he doesn't seem to be doing that so far. Or he doesn't seem to be trying.
Her soul isn't flesh enough. Blessed Rosaria.
So he goes all jealous and defensive, and that's what he started getting at the conversation in Rosaria's bedchamber. So he takes her soul so he can't despoil it, or whatever he thinks we're trying to do. He gets jealous like a lover. So he didn't kill her out of malice or anything. That's what I find interesting about his motivation. Type of Shodel imbued with the power of the moon, Leonard set out on a journey of rebirth, but decided instead to serve the goddess as a knight and inherited this weapon. Then we got his helmet too, Bloodborne helmet, silver mask of Ringfinger Leonard. In his youth, Leonard suffered grave burns to his entire body. His face in particular, which he hid beneath his mask, was terribly scalded. He abstained from restoring these injuries even after becoming a figure of Rosaria. So that was his initial motivation. He went to Rosaria seeking rebirth for his horrible burns, but fell so in love that he served her instead. Return this to Rosaria, her extant corpse, and Mother Rosaria will spring back to life as if nothing had ever happened. So, paralleling the Queen of Castle Canehurst questline from Bloodborne, with placing her red jelly upon the altar in front of a Briatus. Except we're not going to do that because she still acts as a covenant keeper, even as a corpse. So instead, we're going to take her soul to Ludlith and learn something. Bountiful Sunlight, special miracle granted by the Princess of Sunlight, gradually restores a large amount of HP for self and those in the vicinity. The miracles of Guinevere, loved as both mother and wife, bestow their blessing on a great many warriors. So Rosaria's soul gives you a Guinevere miracle.
I took the mantle, choose all
which implies that she was yet another one of the Heavenly Daughters. Oh shit, I forgot about Cirrus. I thought her questline was done.
Your path is wholly different to mine. Gentle unkindled, I bid you farewell. If we meet again, it will be as adversaries. Gentle unkindled.
We got everything that we needed out of Cirrus's questline, so at this point, there's no, like, it's not going to conclude any differently than it would have otherwise, so it's fine. So as we go back to the Grand Archives, that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will finish the Grand Archives next time. Take it easy. Have a good one.